everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States, and we are here taking a look at EXO's Mama. We got an Exo-K and Exo-M music videos, of course, and there's a live performance that showcases both of them dancing together, so we're going to take a look at both. Here for it. Also, this is, I believe this was considered their debut, even though I do see History and What Is Love were marked earlier in the release dates. I don't know the logistics of that. I do know I came in at Mama for them, so if that dates me at all from whenever I was exposed to them in the very beginning. So I can't wait to take a look at this. Let's get started.
When the skies and the grounds were one, the legends, through their 12 forces, nurtured the tree of life.
So here's
Red Force created the evil,
here's our lore, is what it looks like right here.
and the heart slowly grew dry.
And
To attend and embrace
the narrator sounds like Gandalf the Grey, doesn't it?
hereby divide the tree in half and hide each side. Hence, time is overturned
K&M.
and space turns askew. The 12 forces divide into two and create two suns that look alike.
Oh, I'm here for this.
The legends travel apart. The legends shall now see the same sky, but shall stand on different grounds.
Okay.
Shall stand on the same ground, but shall see different skies. The day the grounds beget a single fire before one sky. In two worlds that seem alike, the legends will greet each other. The day the red forces purify and the 12 forces reunite into one perfect root.
Okay.
A new world shall open up.
So I'm curious if they were able to keep the lore, or I wonder if because members started leaving around Overdose, they kind of just fizzled out the lore, if that makes sense. Alright, we're getting started with our random AF chant. This mess right here. We all know this is not real English, and that's okay. Come on, Dio, pop off. God, what an entrance, right? Feels good to see this choreo again. Woo, okay. The eyeliner goes hard. Now each one I know has a superpower, right? Some have teleportation, some have lightning, fire, water. Look at that. Yeah. Yep. Boom, boom. Yeah. So yes, if you're noticing, yes, I have seen this before, like I mentioned in the beginning. For EXO, a good from like their debut up until 2015, I've seen pretty much all of them, but it's been a hot minute since I've seen it all. Oh my gosh. Now, doesn't Chanyeol kind of look like an emo kid in band? Wind. Everyone likes a little butterfly in a tornado. Yeah. It also looks like one of them stole the other person's jacket. Yes, bedazzled hoodie. Woo! And it looks like Suho's got a noose on his neck, which I would want that taken care of. We don't want that. Dope. Come on, Mr. Strength. We're here for it. Okay. Oh, a little gliding coming out the back of that. Nice. There's our B-twist. Oh my god. Yep. Now, the epitome of a face tat is that right there. Posty, Post Malone wishes on that. Ooh. Ooh. Don't worry, again. One more for good measure. You see the genie ad? Oh my god. I know those were popping up. What was it? Sherlock by Shiny. That was popping up there too. The new world of music. Hey. That was dope. Yeah. Sweet. Pew! Incoming Star Wars, you know what I mean? Okay. We got the Chinese version right here. So I'm assuming it'll be, if we've seen it like based off of history, they should be similar in structure, just different vocalists and different representatives. I'm a fan of the lyrics, so you too can see this. Where's the grammar, you know? Dope. So it also looks like we're focusing more on the Exo-M's features. Cool. Yeah. Nice. Kind of low-key look like Power Rangers. We're here for it. Yeah. We're here for it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They don't reach out as much to the camera like our Exo-K counterparts do. Ooh, icy, icy. So fun. Yep, same cut, so it looks, it's combined with all of your like performance heavy members. Yeah. Ooh. Don't back. And the fabric, you gotta keep it in, you know? Wow. Be twist, waha. Oh, I hadn't seen Schumann's face on that. He looks electrocuted. And I didn't know Chris also had his face done too. Oh, they all do. But just so those are the two that you see. Now in that's the first time I technically heard a single voice to more voices being added based on the choreo. I think I just caught that for the first time just now. That's cool. No one to care about me. Love it. Exo-M. We're here for it. Love it. All right, we're here. This is the debut, I'm assuming, of them all Exo-K and M performing together. So this, I can't wait to see. Let's go. That's cool. Mm-hmm. Every time. Yes, it looks like they're lip syncing, but bless it. For me, I'm like, who cares? Mm-hmm. Doom, doom, doom. Yeah. So far, we just have our Exo-K members. Got Suho popping off right now. Love me a bedazzled skull shirt. We live for it. If anything, if I didn't know these songs before, because we're watching so much material of each track, we get familiar real quick. Once again, you have your tension in play. Yep. Still no Exo-M yet, but that's okay. I feel like they're gonna come at some point. There they are. And you can tell by the cheers, they've entered the chat. Yeah. Ooh, accenting on the basses, very nice. Mm-hmm. They have it all in parentheses because it's not in Korean. Oh, they got the full little, they had the whole EXO logo. Hey, hey, with the fire. Hey. This is the first time. I didn't know this existed. This is cool. Yeah. It's always nice when you can get it live, you know? Show off those shoulder blades. Let's go. That feels more like a hip twist with toe taps or sidewalk. A little bit of house in that. I Anya! Yeah, Dio, say your vocals. There's one. Mama. So we added a little embellishment there because it was just him. Yeah. I really like the format of this. This looks really good when they're facing each other. Oh my god. So cool that they could do this. Such history being made here, right? I don't really think any company's done this in the industry yet at this point. God, it's so cool. Mama. Woo! You said, way to go, boys. Way to freaking go. We're here for this. Man, this was a fun performance for me because I had not seen that, even though I've seen the music videos before. It's always nice to look at new things, right? For being able to actually look at both groups, I could not find an Exo-M dance practice. I could only find the Exo-K. And also, I think just they're literally both performing on here. Are the camera angles the best? No, but we're gonna... I think this is the best to really look at both groups because they're both here, right? Okay, so the bleed up right here on the arm. Anonymous, we're gonna ignore all of the chanting of random English words. They've already made, like, if you know, you know. There's some videos out there where it's just compilations of random English sayings that have existed in the K-pop scene, and most come from the Gen 2, Gen 3 era of just random words. And those are some of my favorite videos to watch. So maybe I'll watch one of those on a rainy day because EXO shows up quite often in those. Like this phrase right here. We're here for it. But I digress. I love, every time I hear it, that's all I think about is just those videos. But that little care about me. Notice how we bleed up the energy. Care about me. And even though it goes da na 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 na, they go da da da, and they have some weightiness to it. I like it. It definitely feels like we have some sense of weight of responsibility, which caters into the lore. You know, it's darker in color grade, so I'm assuming it's not, the tree is not unified at this point, right? Things feel more combative. So I love, of course, you got good old Dio popping off vocally. Is this live? I would be shocked if it was. This sounds just like the actual track. So it's either they audio overlaid it or they're just lip syncing for their debut. And I understand that because you got Schumann and Chen who really are not fluent in Chinese really at all during this period. And I don't know if they ever like really got fluent. I don't know any of that. Remember, I was close enough to being a fan without actually being a fan. So it's like, I really don't know the super details, but I knew their music. But all of this here, you know, I think that they just did heavy backtrack for all of this. And that would just make sense for the safety net of a debut like this, because it's so different than anything that's happened in the K-pop industry at this point, which is super cool. This is history is what we're looking at, which is why they have the track called History, right? So they go and they present those arms out really nice and stoic in full. Of course, you have the great usage of the chest on that too. Now, I don't know if that's out of presence or if they were supposed to add some extra syncopation. It wasn't quite clear here, so I couldn't tell. They take it over, boom, so they wind it up, and then boom. So they're hitting all the backbeats while Dio is zoning out vocally. We're here for it. Nice little crash there. They do a little 3-step turn, boom, doom, doom. Now, my interesting note is Kai's in red, and he's the only one in red, so he naturally is going to stick out more than everybody else, which is my little tinfoil hat thing. Is Kai the one, is he one who was kind of like the go-to person that people were looking forward to most in the group? I mean, he had the most teasers, so if it wasn't before, I bet this case most people were familiar with Kai to some degree. And of course, there was like What Is Love and History. Like, I don't know the order in which they came out, but based on what the dates are on SM's channel are, you know, What Is Love was first, and then I think it was History, and then this. So I couldn't tell you though. But Mama is my first track that I knew of them. So they set it up so they have nice full strong position here with the arms. They shoot it out, and there's a little fold down in the wrist over, and then they go and branch. So there's a lot of these tension builds, a lot of subtlety, but tension that is extended through each of their movements. But the movements have similar angles that you would normally see in like a shiny choreo. There is going to be natural overlap of a lot of exo stuff in shiny choreo because they are from the same agency and they have some overlapping in choreographers. It's just going to happen. NCT has the same case too in their era. It's fine. We learn to accept it. We love it all. But they expand it out. There's tension, rotations, but they have more of like this push and pull that happens in their movement, more so than like super full energy like what we see from shiny. That choice right there, that boom boom, notice it was very quick and was very stoic in the torso. They keep that in control as they take it, and once again creating more of a speed change through their choices of their extremity movements from point A to point B. So that right there, they take it, they move it around, they go up. I kind of look like a low-key shamrock on that, right? Well, let me double check. Yeah, hitting it through. There's your wave with the elbow. And so they take the arm as a fixed point. They wave. They use the energy of that to throw on the ground to promote a trigger that allows the jump to happen. Then they take it, boom, boom. Notice there's tension and speed change on the second one, not the first one on Kai's movement. There's a snap. They run, boom. Other side. We really love it. Same on each side. Then they go back. So really, it's unison, but the difference is they're using more transitions to help keep it interesting outside of just them all doing the exact same thing the whole time in the same spots. So we love that. They hit it through, boom, doom, doom. And I like this, where what they did is they locked up their body, except for one leg. One leg acts as like low-key kind of a locked up compass turn, if you know what that is, where it's one leg is straight and they slide it across and the other leg is your anchor point, and it helps with the rotation, but the goal is for your torso and your leg to be at the same angle the whole time. So that's really cool, seeing this with the rotation with the arm to complement the foot with the arm on the chest. I really like that choice. It feels like we goes recognize, or like the stiffness of stringed instrument feels like that, which is cool. Honestly, great energy right here at the very first dance break. We're not even a minute in, and we've jumped at least 5 to 7 times, right? I like that choice. They wind it up, they hit it on the accent, and they turn it through. So it's an accented turn on one leg. We love it. Then it goes ding, ding, ding. A lot of times whenever you see people with this type of setup, it's recognizing that we're about to hit the strings because, a violin or viola or something along those lines is going to be carried right here. So having an arm posture here helps us have some sense of visual imagery of the sounds that we hear outside of just the sound being represented, but the environment as well. And I like the switch on that with the knees going in opposition to the rest of the body. It creates this nice opposition pull. Then it goes ding, ding, ding. There's your tension once again. So that's something Exo-K does very well. I stand by my case with history. I did a really big benchmark movement quality between M and K, and that's something that we're still seeing here, even in the live version with K. Heavy, heavy tension. Good feature from backhand first. They take it, doon, doon. Now right here, now that's interesting. It's a nice little, looks like he's scribbling something out. I love this right here. Now for me, what I would want to do for this, notice that we don't have a ton of torso on this right here. It's definitely more on the hips that are pulling from this slide. For me, I would want to pull with the torso through and through, but it comes from my personal movement quality training. The movement quality of this era really doesn't involve a ton of the chest or the torso nearly as much as Gen 4 or Gen 5, and that is okay, And something that, if I'm being honest, that I kind of like about taking a look at really like a very old, it is older, quite a couple generations earlier of demos and dance practices, is that it was never really like about the synchronicity or being like super clean, and people were okay with that. We just appreciated seeing the dance in like a one fixed cam format. We weren't like micro scrutinizing it. And I as an analyst, I try not to be that way. Even when we're looking at synchronicity, I just look at it from a perspective of, what is your group claiming that your role is in the industry? What do you want to be known for? Okay, how can I help you with where you are, right? So there are some groups that want to be known for how clean they are and how in sync they are. So sometimes I like to look at their movement quality and see what facets are still not on that squeaky clean synchronicity side. But also I like to showcase what makes the group look incredible and clean too, because that's still super impressive even to this day. And seeing this here, they're doing a fantastic job of being pretty clean on their execution collectively. A lot of these tensions are just the stuff that's just hard to maintain when you're performing something live, whether or not you're lip syncing. It's still, you know, to get everybody on the same page, it's always something, it takes a lot of hard work and that we can appreciate together. Yeah, they kick it through, boom, boom, they cross over, take the arm, they branch it over to the side. Now, a lot of this movement, I like the tension. Of course, I've said it many, many times, I like the textures, but it does kind of just feel like choreo right now, and I kind of had said that about many choreos of this era, of just this niche of style. It's choreography style choreo. It's meant for clean lines and angles and picture moments, which works great in this context. But for me as an individual who tries to be an artist with my own particular lens and textures that I tend to cater to as a mover to music, I like to, you know, showcase musicality in a different way than others, and that's what makes me unique to me and makes others unique to them. And I prefer choreo that has a more artistic pull to it. So these types of choreos aren't my top favorite preferences, but I think that there's beauty in having them in the space, just like the overly artistic ones are. I like having range and not just one or the other. So, and some of these choices, I do like just the fact that we're able to throw, we rock it, and there's a consistency in the rock. We throw, we look, we hit, we accent. We like it. Then we take it through, doom, doom, very clear on the dynamics. Every time you hear that crash in the sound, we know we got something coming either through tension or through an extension of some kind. In that case, there's your range. Everybody takes that back. They make it a nice moment to bring it around, different than a lot of other choices they had made before. They take it through, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, hinge it over to the side, then they hit, boom, and then we've transitioned. So transitions are a really big thing here. Now, are they the most creative? No, but they are frequent. So that's something we can definitely appreciate. I like this. Boom, boom. Notice we use that shoulder, not our arms, and that's why it felt more forceful. We're allowing the torso to really infiltrate, and it matches on the aggressiveness, on that chanting-like communal sound that we just heard there, right? Dee-dee-dee, and then there's your, once again, little speed change, hitting it through. I like the intensity from Kai here. Ding, ding. Did he flip us off? Maybe. Who knows? Wouldn't surprise me. Now, that part in the actual music video, I do like, you have it kind of felt like a double lock coming from those in the back line there, and then in the front line, I felt like in the music video, well, now I got it. Let's go back and actually look at that, because I did notice that. That part's cool. Oh. Because we go bum, 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 yeah, so that felt like a double lock, and then even with my Exo-K members, boom, they took it up nice and full and they dropped it down. Now it kind of felt a little bit more full in the shoulders coming from Exo-K versus M. I don't think M ended up doing that part of the choreo for the dance. Yeah, there it's just kind of a lift, but you know what? It's because Chris is in the front. He's definitely one of our stiffest members in regards to movement quality, and that's fine. You're allowed to have the range, but that's probably why that didn't come across as much of a shoulder accent, because who do you have in front for K? Yep, I think it's Kai, right? Yeah, so that's why. So I think that's an interesting thing that we didn't factor in. If you're going to have your performance lead or your lead dancer in the front for certain sections, why are we not reflecting that on the Exo-M side? But that could also be just like with line distribution in your formations. That's just kind of the luck of the draw. That's a really hard logistic. Already it's hard enough in composition and getting the lyrics to match up, but also getting the rhythmic structures to match up on two completely different structures of grammar and characters. It's just the amount of in-depth preparation that is needed to do any comeback affiliated with EXO is wild to me, you know. And hitting it up, now we go punch, punch. Now for me, 2024 Jess learning this choreo would be harder than Jess of 2015 when I think it was like it could be 2014, if I'm being honest, when I learned this the first time, because I've learned it a couple times, but I was naturally stiffer back in the day because I had not trained in street styles really at all, as much as other, studio styles where my posture was naturally wanting to hold in a particular way, and it worked in these types of routines. Now, I didn't know how to push and pull my energy from my shoulders, so I would struggle with that, but just today, I think I would still struggle with this choreo, but for different reasons. I would want to add so much more groove, but there's no groove being asked of here, and so I would have to be respectful of the intention of the choreo, and it was just, I would feel like I'm just a walking board of no groove, right? And that would be a very interesting thing for me to navigate. But I think it's a good skill set to learn how to turn it on and turn it off depending on what role you have. So I do like the choices. You have a nice rotation. They present it out. They present the arms out to the side. Then they take it up, and then they are allowing the foot, if you don't quite see it here, but they lift the foot up, boom, and they cross it over. Very nice. And they take it, boom, boom, and on the crash is when that foot was planted. Then they take it around, boom. It's not a full shamrock, but they do allow the energy onto the foot like you could rotate it like a shamrock, and then they end up hopping right out of it. Then they take it up, and then they brush the heel with the arm to create a nice tension moment with the hands. Haji Hamurka. Yep, so this right here, boom, boom, and then you notice there's a nice little MJ. This feels like an MJ pool, right? From Kai. We're here for it. And then I like the little ball change, taking the rotation from the tension that was just built to present out. Very nice. And then right there, they build it up like a roller coaster. They're building up the energy through density as well. And the turn. Really nice impact on and interrupting the flow of what was said, but it's still like a different type of punctuation. We love it. Then they do a little body roll. For me, I'd want to go body roll, snap, but they technically just do a shoulder, shift the weight into the snap. So those are little details that would make it a difference on, do you want to make it look natural or make it feel comfortable to you, or do you want it to look like how they're doing it, which could be comfortable to them because they've practiced it more than I. Then for me, I would need to sacrifice connecting the shoulders through to the hips. We would go shoulders down, transfer over. Then from there, notice they slide it in. They still have the weight on that right foot or left foot, whichever one. They take that leg that they just slid in and then they use it to lift up. So there's a lot of connections. There's a lot of like the transitions are the focal points in these choreos, not just in people moving to and fro, but a lot of the movements, like these turns are not, a lot of times when you see them in choreo, they're not the focal point. They are the transition to get to your focal point. But all these things matter, you know, which is cool. Switching it through from one side to the other, same of what we've already kind of seen. Ma, ma, ma. That was the smoothest little transition into Exo-M. Now, based on the screaming, this right here is what my gut tells me Exo-M has come into the line of sight for your audience, and then but we see them for the first time for the bleed out with the body roll. That's where your first one comes in. But even when you look, I don't think they were like really body rolling. Yeah, it was more of like a push to the head. Mama. Yeah, then we got Exo-M. There's Schumann, boom. Bah, really like the accent there from him. Then go here, boom, boom, na, 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 na. He presents it out. He goes, haha, it's time. We throw one of those arms away. But instead of throwing it, he takes it and uses it to assist him by going under. New person, you have Schumann rotate around. As a result of that, he goes hit, hit. Really nice. Very conversational, these elements. Hitting it through. Dun, dun, da, 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 da. Brush, brush, brush. We're here for it. I like that. A hit and a hit. Very nice on that choice. And the swing, swing looks nice too. Yep, so you have Chen vocalizing out the wazoo. They're matching just their tempo with the marches. Notice there's an extra bounce that's happening with a lot of their choices. We're here for it. And that right there, it's interesting that we chose to do more hops. We didn't really turn it. Sorry, not spinning, but we are turning with the hops, but we're switching our feet to help maintain the control of it and just the amount that they're doing, which is cool. Then I like the choice with Chen. He hits it down, great accent. They all come down, and then they create a nice little build-up at the end. Now this part right here, the hit, da-da-da. So I like that where they lean away from the arm and then they present to it. Notice they really don't look much different in terms of movement quality here in comparison to when we saw them independently, K and M, in their respective dance practices. So that's really cool, at least in the live context. You don't see obvious differences because I do know that can spark some controversy and conversation, right? In this case, it feels like either group can hold their own in either market, which is a really good marketing skill to have on SM's part. You don't want it to feel like you put like one individuals in one group because they're less than another group and vice versa. And so I like the fact that in this thing that we're seeing here, they're holding it down equally. So it's working cool. So I like that hit, click, click. Notice it's more interruptions with a little fixed point with the hand. And they take it through, nice little push out with the leg. Then they switch it through. So there's a lot of these kind of pulses and punches that we're doing in the upper body here in comparison to a lot of these tensions that we're seeing out of Exo-K. So that's cool, and they present it out. Boom, really nice. Chen's got a lot of lines for not really knowing Chinese a lot compared to a lot of the other members who are in fact Chinese. So they go out, out, up, nice on those positions. Now this is cool where you have one of them in the center and they're all rotating, having fun little accent moments. You see a little Schumann, nice little snappy snap coming from him, little throwaway from Chris. Then from here, dun dun Now there's your tension. They're also doing tension, but notice with Lei, he has this extra little swinge of, there's like a little suave tension going in. Like Kai would also have it. So I would say Lei and Kai are the most similar in terms of their overlap and movement quality, but they still have a lot of differences in the nuances and how they carry themselves. We'll uncover more of that naturally in their solo works, I think, is when we'll really start to see it, but it's cool to see them in this way. Then they take it around, boom, and then we brush it over to the side. We're here for it. We hit it through, boom, and then there's your shoulders. And I really like having the nuance of the head to accent with that step back. It just makes it feel more, I don't know, like the full force of the energy is pushing to the side, not just an isolation to the side. It feels complementary to how it was set up, which is nice. Then they pick it up. So all of this feels the exact same as Exo-K. Gets a thumbs up for me. None of the energy is dropped. There's no discrepancies that we're seeing, and that's what you like to see. Cool. Love the little running man, and then everybody's come back in. The cheers make us think, Exo-K's come back. Mama, mama. And then it feels like we have all Exo here, and you just have more of the performance heavy ones in the middle. I like this here. Honestly, that little green vibe is so freaking sick on that. Hitting it through, boom, boom, ding, ding, boom, over. Yeah, so there's just a lot of booms and kahs that are coming from me. And also, I think another thing, I think I said this about a shining choreo is when I learned this. I don't feel like I'm as helpful as somebody who has analyzed choreo for as long as I have. I don't feel like I'm as helpful when I look at these as I am when I look at like a heavily fundamental choreo, like one that has heavy boogaloo foundation or house or whacking, because we can talk about culture. Here, choreography culture, I mean, I can talk about it, but the skill sets that are needed are things that kind of overlap in other styles, so I kind of feel like a broken record a little bit, so I don't feel as helpful, and I think that's probably why I struggle to do these types of choreos or to analyze them, because I don't feel like I'm as articulate on what we're looking at and how to describe each movement that they're doing without just saying, okay, good angle here, okay, good angle here, and I can't really itemize it as effectively because there really isn't much to itemize unless you're referencing the choreographer or just the tension or the texture. But you know how many times I've said those things already. So I hope you guys understand and give grace to me if I'm falling short in this area of not being able to, express the nuances effectively on this particular track in comparison to ones that have more isolations or more like heavy funk presence or other fundamental presence. So, but I digress. At least we see a little bit on this build up. There is going to be some house that's ingrained or in-threaded here, so we'll be able to talk about that. But hitting it through, I do like the heel twist on that. Boom, boom, when they syncopate it very slightly on that. Cool, more unison. You can't tell, not everybody's like super clean on it, but I don't think anybody cares. It's the debut of 12 people representing two groups. It's cool. Now here they go, head, nice little head dropping over to the side. Now that kind of move does remind me a smidgen of NSYNC. They have some of these little choices that they would do like on Bye Bye Bye. So it's cool that we're able to see some of that here. Choreography era, I'm telling you. And then notice the tension here. We use that shoulder to make it feel a little bit more full. So it's not like a true chest ISO. We're using a little bit of our shoulders to make it more extroverted. We can also, you would see that in Cobra. You would see a lot of that there, or King Cobra, which is, now we would deviate that more boogaloo waving in particular. And from there, a nice little, just like a breath of energy happening there. And they switch it. You see that nice little reset. They took the foot first and they let the body come secondary there. Then they punch it through, boom, boom. And then it feels like we're driving a car because we drive the car on the guitar, you know? And I like that, boom, boom, done. And then they double it up. So the second time, I feel like everybody's involved. Then they drop down, they hinge it back. Really nice speed change. Then notice they cut it back and then they hinge it around. Really nice on the speed control there. Punch, punch over on the corners. We love it. Then here we go, Tao's feature. Now, if somebody could tell me exactly what that's called, I think it's called a B twist, but I know that in breaking, in martial, like in the martial arts sense, well, you know what? Let me go dig and see if I can find this answer. Okay, people call it a butterfly twist, a B twist, even a 720. It could be another thing. I've heard 540. I don't think he's rotating more than a 540 though. So that's what we're gonna lock in today. But if there's another like more slang equivalents of it, I want to know about it. But I digress. Really great work on him. He's very consistent on those. Yes, I know it's because of his training, but you never know sometimes. It's just nice to be able to appreciate whenever you see it. Cool. He presents out. I love that everybody kind of parted the seas a smidge. Now, did they part evenly? I couldn't tell you, but yeah, they did a great job allowing him the space to do that comfortably. And then, of course, you got pyrotechnics. Then you have Kai, showing off his shoulder blades, because why not? Yeah, and they hit it down. Notice that they're doing a little bit of like a hyping going on with Kai, and Kai's just, Now this right here is a sidewalk into a heel twist, into pas de bourrées, and then they step out instead of sidewalking again. Then they take it and they bring it in. On back, they're doing a subtle, little body roll out of that. That's your first little tension body roll. Then it feels like we kind of low-key do the sidewalk on the other side. And they throw it, turn back, run it back. So, of course, it kind of feels like the quickness of the feet kind of feels like we're running or we're upping the pace in comparison to a walk. And then from there, they turn back, the kind of wordplay. They set it back, really nice. Then he hits it, boom. Of course, we have this really good, for me, I'm so used to seeing this. This is a really good bounce and rock drill. Like this move right here, that's like, when in doubt, you just do this. You want to hype up your friends, you do this, raise those hands. If you want to feel a little cool about it, just stand up and do it. That move right there, it's just a bounce and a rock, but they're ending up rotating it just a smidge. It creates great energy and it promotes the space, and it feels that they're not just doing nothing, right? And that's what we really like and appreciate on this. He twinkles those fingers, we love it. There's your pas de bourrées into the sidewalk, so it's the same thing again of what we saw before. I like it. I like the challenge of this instead of, I'll take this over the Harlem, I keep saying Harlem, it is not, it's the harem pants, bless it. The harem pant shaking of the pants, man, that just kills me every time. The amount of times I've shown that to my colleagues since I reacted to that because I forgot it existed. Too many times, guys. It's gonna live rent-free in my head for about 3 to 5 business days if we're being real, but I really do like the challenge of this. It definitely showcases, hey, we ain't playing around. They love it, and they take it up, boom, really nice. And also, too, the group that, there's only been just a couple of groups around this time that were known for their dancing, Shiny being one of them, which is their Sombe's in the company, but I would say Infinite's another example. There's some others of the Gen 2 side, but remember, I really do feel that EXO was one of the first groups introduced in the 3rd generation. It's very, very early, 2012. Yeah, they hit it through. Boom, nice. There's your tension there. Boom, and I love the tension. I love this, this commitment. It really feels like he's carrying like this weighty energy as he comes up. So I like the commitment on that. He goes, mama, and then everybody re-drops down. He comes up, and then I like the pulse on there. A little fun moment from Kai there. And then this is an add-on. So everyone repeats, boom. But it actually goes well because if you hear in the back, you hear this mama, then you hear this careless, careless, the chanting. So we are doing polyrhythms in the terms of delegation, which is what I've called it, delegation of formation. So you have different people executing different parts of your music instead of one person executing it all. So I really like that choice. Looking great here. No one to care about me. Here we go. Boom. When we drop it down, we're here for it. Mama. Yep, so there's the pool there, and then you got Dio living his best life, walking forward with this huge comb over of a no, that's not, oh my god, that's not Dio, that's Suho. But you know who has the same hair? Suho and Dio have the same freaking hairstyle in the teasers and in Mama. Thank God I know them already, or I would have totally thought that that was Dio, and we would have found a Where's Waldo of the group. No need for that. That's Suho. My bad. He takes it up, nice little twinkling. Yes, is Suho our leader? Yes, he is. He is the leader of Exo-K and of the whole group. Whenever it's everybody there, there's Baekhyun. So you have your V established on the outside. He's able to come forward. We love that. Boom, really nice on the build-up to the arms. They take the arms, swing them through. They're revving them up. You're creating some energy. They're still crashing on those sounds, representing those sounds. Boom, it takes the arms. They expand it out. Boom, and notice they kind of feel like they do a little breakage of the arm too. Boom, really nice on that. Presenting over to the side. They're extending out, which is what we love. Then they rotate around and then they snap over to the other side. So I like the fact that we're not just facing front the whole time. We're doing a lot of turns, which is cool. A lot of jumps. Turning over in our transitions too. So now here we go. Our two opposing sides. And I love this little like just transparent looking banners. So fun. And I love this. This is cool. I think the choreo looks really dope when they're facing each other. That's cool. So we've already kind of looked at all of this already. And the fact that they're doing it so similarly, which is what I already talked about earlier with Exo-M, they're doing this choreo, in particular this course, very similarly. So part of me feels that they cleaned it around, like they cleaned it together. And just to get all of this all to the same degree of range, it really helps it feel so unified, but having them turn and face each other, opposing forces as well. Yep, da-da-da-dun-dun, boom, really cool. Yeah, well, of course, with another little pull. Having everybody do it just hits, right? It hits in a really great way. Then they take it up, nice little toe tap in the back, and they present it out. They do a little running, boom, and other side, dun, dun. And the importance of those is the arms have a moment and then the head. And then the arms have a moment and the head. And then the weight, let your legs go, and where it's promoting really helps make it look and push in that particular direction as your weight shifts too. And that right there, boom, really nice on the subtlety of the head. Sheesh. Anonymous, heartless, mindless, no one will care about me. And then they go, boom, they nice little finish. Of course, we see a little bit of our shoulders being seen. Oopsies. But hey, he don't care. We love it. That was awesome. I'm really glad that I had not seen this because it allowed me to kind of look at their movement as their movement instead of like, you know, whenever I was watching What Is Love. Like I feel like there's a time and place to just be able to be vibing out to the track, but I also really like being able to look at the choreo and seeing how it shifted depending on whether they're operating in isolation as individual groups and when they're working together. This is really fun, and what a debut, you know? Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more EXO, there's a good chance I have a lot of it. I have a lot of it on YouTube, but I will always have more on Patreon. There's a good chance there's going to be some block stuff too that will never make its way to YouTube because you know how SM is sometimes. It ain't fun. So there's a lot out there in store for y'all. I'm still super pumped. This is still the very beginning of my EXO journey. We have a lot of group activities to look through, a lot of solos. Woo, the solos and the units. There's going to be a lot of good stuff coming down the pipeline on the dance side and on the music side. So I can't wait to watch and rewatch these things with y'all. It's going to be awesome. Once again, my name is Jess, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye.